Okay, girls, let's do this example. So with this example, we're going to work on bar graphs and pie charts. These two, we're going to be using them, graph them using your CAS calculator. So that's why I need you to do your CAS. But before we jump into the CAS calculator, I need to explain to you how these two works. So before I forget, I had some notes here. Important, when you're doing bar graphs, always remember to put your title. This is something, girls, please don't forget. This is one of the most common mistakes. Girls very often, students in general, very often forget to put the title to all their graphs in statistics. So remember to always put your title, okay? Now in bar graphs, we're going to use frequency or percentages, and the width of the bars and the distance between bars needs to be kept uniform, okay? I'll make reference to this once we have our bar graphs done in CAS to explain what I'm talking about this. But just make your notes there so I don't forget. That's why I have it there. Okay, so let's read this example. It says, the Kelly clan is having a major family reunion. The age groups of the 200 family members, so I know that I have 200 family members that are attending, have been recorded as shown below. So they have babies, toddlers, children, teenagers, adults, and pensioners. So if I was going to calculate the percentage of babies, how will we do it? We know that the total, if I was going to add all of these ones, I'm not going to do it because they're already telling me that it's 200 people. So the total is 200 people. Okay? So if I was going to calculate the percentage, what will we do? 20 out of 200. So I know that that's 10%, but if you need to use your calculator, let's use your CAS calculator. So you do 20 divided by 200. Agree? I forgot to press. And we can see here that is 0.1 or 1/10. Therefore, it's 10%. Okay, so if I'm going to calculate, this one is going to be 10%. If you got confused with what I just did, this is just remembering from year 8 when you did percentages. So how do you calculate the percentage of a toddler? You do 24 out of 200 times 100. So you do 24 out of 100, out of 200, sorry. That's 24 out of 200, and then you multiply by 100. And that gives you, that is 12%. So right here, 12%. Then children, 34 divided by 200 times 100. That gives you 17%. Then 36 out of 200 times 100, 18%. Then 50 out of 200 times 100 is 25%. And then I have another 36 like this one, so that will be 18%. So I know that if I add all of this, I will come up that this is equal to 100%. Okay? So why is this important? Because when you're doing your bar graphs, you can either use the percentages or you can use the frequency that we have here. So how are we going to use our CAS? So go into your CAS. Okay, I'm here, press home, and you're going to go to the spreadsheets here. And here you're going to put a title. The title that I'm going to put is age group. Remember that you can't use spaces, so you have to put it all together, otherwise it's not going to work. And here I'm going to go put F for frequency. Okay? Wonderful. And I'm going to write baby, toddler, child, teenager, adult, and pensioner. Wonderful. That's the first column. And the second column is 20, 24, 34, 36, 34, 36, 50, and 36. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw our bar graphs. So to do that, I'm going to go into menu, statistics, data 3, and then summary plot. Okay, so they're asking me what is the X list. In other words, I'm going to go into my, so bar graph is going to look like something like this. It's going to have some data here, and here underneath here we have like our categories. So here we'll have baby, then toddler, child, teenager, and so on. These categories, this here is what we call the X. How do we call it? The X list. And then over here, we are going to have our frequencies. Okay, and then these bars are going to be like something like this, whatever. That's what we're going to get. I don't know, I'm drawing whatever. We're going to see how it comes up. So the X list is going to be the age group. My summary list is referring, what is the summary? What is the frequency that we're using? The summary list is going to be the frequency. Now you can see a split page, and a split page, what will happen is what show you have this spreadsheet that we had, and then the other half the graph, or you can put it into a new page. So I recommend that you put it into a new page and you press OK. Boom. Okay, so what do I have here? My bar graph. As you can see, I have the categories down here: baby, toddler, child, teenager, adult, and pensioner. And if I wanted to see the data, I can go back to this page. In this one is the calculator that we were using before when we calculated the percentages. But you can see here I have my data, and here I have my bar graph. Now with the bar graph, if you had to use this for a test, I will ask you, remember, you have to put your title. So your title will have to be, what is it? Family members are attending the age groups. So the age group, so that's your title. So your title will have to be age group. This will be your title. Okay. Then what it says here, that we can have the frequency or the percentages. In this case, we're using the frequency. That's what is being represented here. But we could also have put here, instead of these numbers, we could have written the percentage. And we can also graph the percentage, and we will have a similar distribution, like the same distribution of all the bar graphs. The other thing that is important, you can see that the width of the bars, you can see here that all of the width of the bars are exactly the same. We don't have one that are very tiny, very thin, and another one very thick. No, they're consistent, and also the distance between the bars is the same. Okay, good. The other thing that I wanted to show you, and you just saw that, if I hover over the bar graph, it's saying baby, the data says 20 and the percentage is 10%. So if I go here, you'll see, yes, baby is 20, 10%, that's what we got. And if I go into the next one, you see 24, 12%. Good. And here toddler, 34, 17%. 34, 17%. 36, 18 should be. 36, 18, the same as pensioners. Let's look at pensioners. Yes. And the last one that we have is adult. That is 25%. Beautiful. So that's what I wanted to show you. So with this, we have our percent bar chart. Okay, now if I have to change to the pie chart, so the pie chart will be those ones, and you are also familiar with those pie charts that are circular. And when we have like percentage, we know that the whole bar graph have to add up to 100. So we use usually this percentage to know how big each section we will do. Agree? But that's very time consuming, so that's why we use technology. So how do we change this graph into pie chart? We go into menu, and where it says plot type, we go into pie chart, and boom, there you go. And you can see that if I hover over it, we have the same data that we also had with the bar graphs. Okay, girls, fantastic. I hope you find this useful.